The WWE 2K15 was a misstep for the series. 2K16 was a big improvement, and although it did really well, what was 2K17 like now that 2K had had the license for quite a few years? Shouldn't there be more improvements than this? This is the most random Elimination Chamber I could possibly think of. And by think of, I mean I completely randomized it, and it's just still the weirdest thing ever. So we have Dean Ambrose starting out against Kane 1998. Saying that though, pretty good model of Kane, especially I've just recorded, oh god, spoilers. I've just recorded some Attitude Era mode and from WWE 13, and the Kane in that game also looks really cool. So the fact that this Kane is here is very cool. I'm just gonna keep saying very cool until it stops making any sense. We also have Eric Rowan, I believe, in the top right there. Top left is Randall Keith Orton, the Viper, Randy Orton. Entering the ring now, next entrant is none other than the Icon. It's Sting! Or whatever Tony Schiavone says. And the final entrant in the bottom left is none other than Bubba Ray Dudley of LFG fame, of course. Everyone obviously knows him only from LFG and nothing else. So this is WWE 2K17. It was "Welcome to Suplex City" was the tagline for this specific game. And of course, Brock Lesnar was on the front cover of that game. I think he probably was a champion, or at some time around the game's release, but I couldn't tell you specifically when. I'll tell you what though, I like the fade. I don't know if you noticed there when the camera like pulled out, the fade on the chamber there was really slick. I feel like nowadays in the 2K games, like you get a lot more, it like cuts out like half the chamber, but I like that you can still see the roof and stuff in there. That's really cool. And this is the old school chamber as well. This is just before I think they did the new one. I think 2018 may have, or maybe even 2017 was when they did the first new style chamber without the, you know, the metal and all that. So the gameplay improvements this year isn't a whole ton. Literally just saying gameplay improvements of thousands of new moves and animations, which is probably true. There probably are a fair chunk of new moves and taunts and entrance animations and the whole rest of it. There's a whole ton of new people in the game this year as well, so probably lots and lots of new animations to account for the new NXT people in particular. And of course, new backstage and in-arena brawling. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm pretty sure this is the first game where you can fight in the crowd. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the game where you can jump the barricade and fight in the crowd the way that you do now. So you can climb over that top right or the top left barrier and fight into the crowd. And if you go to the top right specifically, there's like a whole area with tables and weapons that you can go fight in where the crowd are supposed to be, but they're not actually there. And maybe that's appealing to you. I'm not really sure, but hey, it's interesting to know that it came from 2017. Guys, it's 2020. Oh, I'm gonna date this video. I'm sorry. It's 2025. That means that this is almost 10 years old, and this is crazy to think that we're not really seeing many improvements year on year. And well, regardless of year on year improvements, we're not yet seeing year improvements now. There's a lot of really cool features that we can talk about later when we go through the menu and game modes, but one thing to probably ignore is the fact that the soundtrack for this game was produced by Sean Diddy Combs, and that's probably not something to be proud of. It wasn't proud of, or you shouldn't have been proud of it back then, and definitely not proud of it now. Going through a list of new features in 2K17, fighting in the crowd and backstage, which is what we talked about. Updated responsiveness and control. I guess it means that the game is less laggy than normal. That's cool. Updated ladders, taunts, and new secondary submission system. So I'm assuming that they've probably added in a new submission system where you have to, I don't know, hold buttons, or maybe this is the game when they introduced like the weird bars that fight each other, and you have to hold the triggers or move the thumbstick around or whatever, and maybe they just changed that in this game, so you just like press buttons. And I don't know, I much prefer that. I don't know what updated ladders means. I don't know what specifically updated ladders. Maybe they added in the long ladder that you can pull out to break, the ladder bridge. Maybe that's in this game. I have no idea. More adjustments to body hair specifically. Oh, rollout in multi-man matches. So if you're not, I see a lot of people online that are not a fan of the rollout mechanic. So if you're not a fan of the rollout mechanic in this game, or in the current 2K games, it comes from this one, which is essentially, when there is too much damage done to your character, or any character for that matter, they will just roll out of the ring and they will be stunned for a set amount of time until they can come back into the ring. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. Creative video can be used for creating entrances. Highlight replay system, I'm not sure what that means. I'm guessing that means when there is a replay at the end of the match, now there's a replay system for that. Creative victory is cool. I don't know what that specifically means. If you can choose your own custom victory, if you can actually like set the parts and stuff like that. A whole bunch of changes to universe mode, run-ins, pre and post match attacks, a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about shortly. And especially one of the biggest new features of this game is the promo engine. If you're wondering, yes, I am reading off my phone because when I play these games in full screen, the fucking PC doesn't work. So anyway, this is a bugbear of the PC version of this game, is it runs relatively well, but it kills everything else on the PC. So capturing it is really complicated sometimes. During our 2K15 video, we did go back to the PS3 and the 360 era video game to show that the gameplay hadn't changed between the generations there. You still had the old gameplay in the old gen versions. They did get the new roster, but it was literally just the new roster and no new gameplay features on those versions. This game, 2K17, would be the last game developed for the Xbox 360 and PS3, which would mean that 2K18 is the first game to go fully next gen, and as we will discuss next year, it wasn't a smooth transition. It was good enough, but it wasn't smooth by any means. They had one particular platform that did not accept the game running in any considerable state, but we'll talk about that next week in 2K18. We're talking about 2K17 right now, and really, like, one of the biggest benefits to this game in particular is the fact that Sting is available in the game. There was actually a comment on, I can't remember what video it was, but it was talking about, I think it might have been talking about 2K16. I think it was talking about 2K16 maybe, and the fact that the only reason to play the game, or maybe it was 2K15, I can't remember. The only reason to play the game was to have the Stinger, and this game has him in droves. He's got like 3 different models in this game. So this is, I presume this is when he main evented. He was at WrestleMania with Triple H and D-Generation X. That was an RKO on the steel, so that's going to be Eric Rowan taken out there. He's got a very ginger beard in this game. Maybe it's it's not so ginger now that I've called it out, but when he was lying down, that beard was ginger as hell. I saw that. The thing is, I can't remember if this game even has a showcase mode. There's one of these games that doesn't have a showcase mode, and I'm wondering if this is one of them. Now, there is a game that has like a showcase mode that's exclusive. What the fuck is Sting doing? What is Sting doing? He just did like a whole ass surferboard flip. That was crazy. Yeah, there was a game that had DLC, or sorry, I had a showcase mode exclusive to DLC. And I have a feeling it might be this game, but I'll confirm it shortly before I go on a mad rant about the fact that there's no showcase mode. It might even be 2K18 that doesn't have a showcase mode, but it makes you wonder why they even released the game with no like story mode. And there's a discussion to be had about the current showcase mode and how maybe they should repackage it or repurpose it in some way so that it isn't the same thing every single year. And credit to 2K, they are trying to make it different. The Bloodline edition is different. The way that you play through those matches is different. Even playing the John Cena storyline, where you play against, or you play as the opponents that John Cena has, and basically every match that you play for Cena is one where he lost, is an interesting take. I like that take, because one of the biggest complaints about every single story mode in existence is the fact that you play through the same character, for an extended period of time. And maybe you want to change that up once in a while. So any story mode in any wrestling game, you eventually get to the point where you're like, right, I am sick of playing as this one character. I want to change it up. And this showcase mode, if it's the one that I'm thinking of here in this game, it's like a retro showcase mode that has a collection of matches from different eras of like WCW or something. So or even like AWA or something. I can't remember. So there's like a whole bunch of matches. You never really play as one person for too long. Maybe a couple as Sting, maybe a couple as Flair, but overall, you're not playing like hours upon hours as one character. If you're wondering, yes, this match has gone longer than I thought it would. I thought it would have been over by now, so then I can stop waffling about stuff that I don't know. Because if you don't know, I don't plan these videos out very well, and I just kind of talk about things, and I don't really research them. So I'm going to have to research them shortly, so I was kind of hoping the match would be over by now so I could actually do my research and know what I was talking about. Sorry, calm, composure. Gary's losing it, he's cracking at the seam. Although cracking at the seams is nothing, because 2K17, for the most part, spoiler, I don't hate it. It's not the worst game ever. It's not offensively bad. Moving forward into 2K18, 19, 20, we will definitely be seeing games that are offensively bad. Talking of offensively bad, Sting hitting a tombstone piledriver in front of Kane. Now, I know Stinger did a tombstone back in the day. I know it was his finisher. But the fact that he did that in front of Kane, and even took a second to be like, look at Kane and be like, yeah, you fucking, you see that tombstone I just gave Orton? Yeah, you wish you could do that. And you know what? Kane made Stinger bleed for that for his transgression, but not able to get the pinfall there, not able to get the 3 count. Orton got a chance his luck and go for that pinfall, and almost able to get it, but not enough yet. The two of them are just gonna tackle. Oh my god, they're bullying the WCW alumni here. I mean, Bob Orton was probably in WCW at some point. He feels like the type of guy who would be in WCW, so I don't know what Orton's got beef against Stinger for. I don't remember what version of Sting I chose. It looks like the modern day version, but there is also the 1999 version from WCW. I don't know what version of Sting that specifically is. It could very well be the modern one, but it doesn't look bad by any stretch. Sting, because Sting has the face paint and he's never really changed his look, and I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just like he just looks very similar in every kind of era that the Crow style Stinger has. I know in TNA, obviously, he tried to change it up a little bit by going to the Joker and becoming the Joker, but I wasn't vibing with that version of Sting. That's a big ass power slam for a big ass man, but not enough to get a pinfall there. Sting able to kick out. Literally though, Kane and Orton are not fighting each other. Oh, my controller turned off. Kane and Undertaker are not fighting each other here. It's literally a 2-on-1. The Stinger is having to fight off Kane and the Undertaker at once. And Stinger going for that Scorpion Deathlock on Orton there. The sharpshooter has been locked in. Orton tapping. I can't believe Orton gave up there, which leaves Kane versus Sting. Honestly, at this point, I think Sting might be able to do it. I mean, Kane has been putting a lot of work in to Stinger here, and I don't think Kane's even had a lot of offense done to him. So also, I gotta admit, that Kane model looks awesome, and the mask looks great, the hair looks great, and I love, like, it's a silly thing, but I love the separation in his shirt, right? It kind of, the seams come off at the side a little bit. I just love the way it looks. What I really like though, and I don't think anybody else like this is just me thing, the Kane version that has the flipped colors. Sometime around 2001 or 2001, he had like this black singlet with the red flames, and I just think that was the coolest shit ever. And he transitioned it into the one where he had like a see-through vest or the see-through flames, like it was a mesh flame, and it was alright. But oh, the tombstone to Kane, probably gonna take him out there if Stinger can get a pinfall. Oh, he's just admiring the work here. He's not even going for a pinfall. He's living in the moment here as he's about to win this Elimination Chamber. Is he gonna go for the pinfall? He's not. He's calling for Kane to stand up to his feet, and when he does, Kane was ready for the attack. Kane has, oh man, if Kane hit a chokeslam there, that shit would have been fucking tight. But no, Sting going for the corner, maybe going for the splash there. I'm not sure how you trigger the splash in this game, but not able to get the hit there. Are we stuck here? Been here for a hot minute. Do I need to do something, or? Oh, okay, Sting's back. There we were just waiting, I guess. Stinger, oh, I thought Stinger was going for another tombstone, but instead going for a power slam, holding the shoulder down, but not enough to get the 3 count. Kane kicking out at the last possible second. Oh, no, dude, if a kick to the gut pins Kane here, and that kicks out 1, thank God. Oh, Kane with the choke slam, sending him straight to hell. Oh my god, that animation is so cool. I wish he kind of had more height on the chokeslam, but that is enough Stinger, thanks for coming. You put up a hell of an effort, but Kane with his right song as well. Wow. I appreciate when they get the right song for Kane, because they don't always get the right song for Kane, especially this version of Kane. But this, absolutely no stakes whatsoever. Elimination Chamber. Kane gets the win, and he wins absolutely nothing except the admiration of the fans in the attendance, which are all virtual and they're not real. So with that being said, let's move on to the game modes. Let's have a look at what this game had to offer at the time. So I don't know very much about the game, so let's just go, we can go through the modes literally individually here. So we've got just this, well, the menu system I'm not the biggest fan of, but I know a lot of people liked it. So you have this very plain, like, smoky environment with some lights, and then these characters will walk from the background to the foreground, and sometimes you get them literally standing in front. So there's Miss Jacqueline, of course, walking through the back there, and then as she walks through the back, I think a character will walk in front at some point, and maybe even just appear and do a taunt. And you know, when I was setting up, here's Jacqueline here pointing in front of the menu, so I had, like, I don't know, Big E appeared at one point and he was doing a crazy dance or something. It's an interesting look, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, I have to admit. So the menu is really simple, and all the game modes are here as well. So you've got your standard exhibition, which is called play in this game, and you've got all the different match types there. I don't know about any new match types, but we'll get into that shortly. You have the option of My Career. My Career does have a story, I believe, this year. Yes, this is the My Career with the promo system, so there is definitely a story mode. And I can't remember specifically how the story mode plays out. I don't know if this is the one where you have to appease the authority, because there is one where you constantly get tasks given to you by the authority, and you have to complete them to, well, you don't have to complete them, but if you want to get successful in the mode, you can either side with the authority or fight against them, I guess. And the promos are a big part of that, because you can do promo battles with a lot of characters during the course of the story mode. I don't remember it being overly popular, and nobody really talks about it, but maybe I should give it a go on a Season Mode Sunday or something, or maybe a live stream. I don't know, I need to get into live streaming more. Talking of the promo modes, of course, the Universe mode is always a big part of the game. Again, I feel like even though the promos are here, and that's awesome, this is, again, just feels like it's one new feature, whereas, like, we would ideally want more than just one feature per year. So we'll talk about how duct taped this mode is shortly, but yeah, Universe mode is back this year. We have a much enhanced creation mode. Again, create superstar is like filled to the brim with a whole bunch of shit, and you can do create a move, entrance, animation, whatever. And you've also got create a victory, so maybe we should have a look at that and see how that plays out, because I've never really looked at how create a victory works. It may just be the same as it is in the current WWE games, where you literally just choose an animation for your victory. Yeah, if your online modes, you've got your community creations, this is where you download, upload Logo Manager. It's all similar to the way the game runs now. You've got the online mode. I think the 2K Tonight was like the live event, so it was like a challenge that would appear randomly every week. You get a new challenge mode, and you would just do that against another player. I think WWE Live was like a match card, so like you were positioned in a match card, and you would just see other people play out their cards, and it was interesting, but it obviously never came back. So My Superstar is the way that My WWE is the way that you edit the in-game roster. You can choose people, brands, champions, rivalries, all the rest of it, and then you get your options, and yeah, all this is not really worth talking about. So if we have a look at the roster, I am again reading on my phone, so bear with me, but there are 40 new roster members. Now, they're not necessarily new, but they were not in the previous year. So if we go through the list alphabetically, we can see that there is this includes DLC, by the way, so there is AJ Styles, who was not in the previous game, so I'm guessing this is his debut. 2017 sounds about right. Albert appears as DLC, very cool to have Prince Albert here. I don't think Test is here though, so there's no way we're probably going to get Test in a video game ever again. We have Alberto Del Rio making his return to the game, because he was definitely in like the Summer of Punk, that kind of era, like WWE 13, 12 and all that. But he returns here in 2K17. We also have Alexa Bliss, who is either NXT or just after NXT. We also have Apollo Crews debuting here as part of the NXT edition. Asuka making her either debut or return, as well as Austin Aries, who's part of the DLC for this game. He did not stick around very long, so he was not a popular one for sure. We have the Hugger Bailey. We also have Becky Lynch. So many of the names that you know now really have appeared for the first time in this game, which is pretty crazy to think about, actually. Braun Strowman appears here for the first time as well. There he is, big fluffy beard Braun. This is when he was quite chubby. He was part of the Wyatts, sorry. He was part of Bray Wyatt's faction, the Wyatt family. He was the big muscular, well, he was supposed to be the big muscular dude, but he had a little weight on him at the time, so he was quite hefty, shall we say. We have Brutus the Barber Beefcake, notorious for being Hulk Hogan's best friend, and returning, of course. Bubba Ray Dudley, I didn't even realize he was returning in this game. I just picked him for the sake of it, but of course he did actually interrupt Enzo and Cass that year, so it makes a lot of sense for them to appear in this game. We also have Buddy Roberts. I should probably actually change my camera there, apologies. Buddy Roberts is DLC for this game, so that is leaning more into my WCW Showcase DLC idea that I was floating around earlier on. We have Carmella, a new return for this game, as well as Chad Gable. Look at that big old bald spot on his big dome. Of course, Chad's come a long way since then, so it's actually pretty crazy to see. Here we see a very young Charlotte Flair. He's not on my list here, but it's funny seeing Chris Jericho here, who may or may not return to WWE pretty soon. Of course, we have the other half of the Dudleys, Devon Dudley. We also have Dana Brooke and her scary fucking eyes. This game has the weirdest renders. As you can see, these are the character models in the game, and Dana Brooke's eyes are just terrifying. And the fact that I even think that's toned down from the original version of the game, geez. So we also have one half of FTR. They were not called that at the time. They might have been called the Revival. No? Yeah, that's where the whole fuck the Revival thing come from, right? The Revival Dash Wilder is called in this game. DLC is Eddie Guerrero. The fact that Eddie Guerrero's DLC is very strange. Do we have him? We do have him. I don't know, Eddie isn't normally DLC, so that's an odd choice to have him as DLC. And I may have misspoken earlier when I said Sting was the pre-order bonus. That is not true. 2017's pre-order bonus was Goldberg. I wish we got Gilbert one year. That would be a crazy DLC. Goldberg and Gilbert in the same game. Oh my god. Somebody get Dwayne Gill on the phone. His likeness would cost probably nothing these days. We also have Greg Valentine. Greg Valentine appears in so many DLCs. It's unreal. Another DLC here, surprise entrant, is Ivory. You know, with all the talk of the Attitude Era DLC for things like 2K25 and the potential, there was a potential talk about them doing more Attitude Era themed games and stuff. Ivory is like overlooked, man. She was a really big part of the Right to Censor, and I remember her really well from kind of that 2001 run that she had. We also have Miss Jacqueline, who I don't really have much memory of her, but she got her tits out on pay-per-view once, so that was cool. Also debuting in this game, the other half of American Alpha. I don't know what they're called American Alpha at this point, but we have Jason Jordan as well as Jimmy Garvin. Also debuting this year is Carl Anderson, one half of the Bullet Club. Not the Bullet Club, they were just called The Club. Sorry, my brain's mush at this point. We also have the Von Erichs. Now, if you've seen, I didn't even really know who they are. So I didn't really know who the Von Erichs were. I knew them in passing, but I'm not the biggest wrestling historian. I've got a lot of knowledge in my head, and that's why it all gets mixed up when I'm talking about random wrestling facts. But the Von Erichs didn't have the biggest WWE legacy, but they appear here in the DLC. And what's really cool is if you've seen the movie Iron Claw with Zac Efron, then you get to know these characters really well and follow some of their storylines. And of course, I did know who the Texas Tornado was when I was younger, but I didn't realize who the Texas Tornado was a Von Erich. With that being said, we have the other half of the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows. We got more DLC with Michael Hayes, Mojo Rawley, and an NXT edition, Nia Jax. Now that again is so funny seeing all of these characters so young, because this is like a lot of their first time in these games, and it's just crazy to think that nowadays these guys are considered like legends. Like Nikki Bella, I don't know what her first game was, 2K14 or something, and here we are 10 years later and we're calling her a legend. I don't know, I don't want to stop aging. I don't want to stop aging, and the whole thing just needs to stop. Not DLC, but returning this year, I have to go a little bit further down. Road Dogg Jesse James. I didn't see Billy Gunn on the list. Billy Gunn must have already been in the game, because I do know he's in this game. But yeah, Jesse James appearing here. I don't know why I'm saying Jesse James. That's the DOGG Road Dogg. Alongside the first appearance of Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. Not the biggest fan of Moné these days, but it's very cool to see her here, especially since she's going to her main event. I keep saying main event. She's at a WrestleMania pretty soon in these games, and had that amazing triple threat match with Becky and Charlotte literally like a couple years from here on. We also have Scott Dawson, the other half of the Revival 2K17, also the first game to feature Shinsuke Nakamura, although I think I've gone past him. There he is, Shinsuke Nakamura. Dude, I remember his debut in NXT. It was the hottest, hypest shit ever. He was so fucking cool. I knew nothing about him, and when I saw his match with Sami Zayn in NXT, I was sold, man. I could not believe Nakamura was so fucking cool, and I don't know what happened to him, man. Psycho Sid appearing in the game. You know what? Sid should appear in more WWE games. Honestly, he had such a short legacy in WWE, but like even in WCW, I don't know, he didn't do very much. He's probably more famous for that horrendous leg breaking clip than anything else. But if Sid was in the game more, I probably would use him more, because he just has this amazing look about him. I guess the thing about Sid, that he always had a look, but he wasn't really much of a wrestler. We also have Tatanka. Tatanka appears in quite a few video games for some reason, but yeah, he floats about. And then the final new person to this game and DLC as well is Ty Dillinger. So we just went through, you know, a whole chunk of people, and you got to see many of the character models from the game. There's Undertaker 1991, which is crazy to think about. And yeah, there is a whole bunch of DLC in here as well. But yeah, 40 new wrestlers in this game. Now, the list here by the numbers, apparently, according to the SmackDown Hotel, thank you for that information, there are 177 playable characters, including DLC and alternate versions, which is a record, which is pretty crazy. And this game also holds a record, and I know a lot of you out there use the female characters, use the women. This game holds apparently a record for 25 playable women, including DLC, which is not a large number, but is a huge improvement over previous games, because, you know, when I was looking at the women roster for 2K14 or whatever, there was like no one there. So I was correct, by the way. I don't know why I don't have it installed. The DLC should be here, but for some reason hasn't loaded, I guess. I've got all the characters, but I don't have the showcase mode. But with that being said, there was a Hall of Fame showcase mode, and it was DLC. There wasn't a showcase mode in the base game. But with that came a whole bunch of DLC characters, a whole bunch of WCW matches, WCCW matches, things like Halloween Havoc, and then for some reason there's a random match in there, Big Boss Man versus Big Show at Armageddon 1999, which is an amazing match and is the culmination of the Big Show's kayfabe dad dying and Big Boss Man pulling his casket across a graveyard and some really wacky shit that happened at that time. But it's weird that you've got all these WCW matches like Clash of Champions, Halloween Havoc, even a dream match between Papa Shango and the Godfather, but then there's like Ivory versus Jacqueline on an episode of SmackDown from 2000, and then Big Boss Man versus Big Show at Armageddon. It's very strange, very strange. So as mentioned, we do have a revamped universe mode as well. So you'll see you do have a different menu system this year. You also have the same options you've had forever and even still in the game. You have the My Universe option where you can see the news and you can see the rivalries, championships. You can edit your shows from here as well. You can delete shows, create new major shows or minor shows from there as well. and you can draft your rosters or your alignments and whatever else you need to do from the Superstar page. From the calendar page, you can edit the calendar, you can change the way that the titles are, you can change the shows, you can change or even skip ahead. If you go out of edit mode, you can go skip ahead to a pay-per-view. For some reason, Rusev is challenging The Undertaker at Extreme Rules, which is fucking insane. It says Money in the Bank, but I don't think that's accurate. It's just telling you what the rivalries are for that month. So if you were to skip forward, it would probably take you to another storyline based on what's happening at that time. So, you know, if we skip forward here to October, why not? That's where Hell in a Cell is. And if we go to this Raw, something tells me, just a blind faith moment, that there might be a promo that we can look at to show how the promo system works in this game. Good God, the simulation is slow. Nowadays, it's very fast, and this is not very fast in the slightest. But there we are. So this is Raw. We have, if we go to the news, we can see all the different things that have happened. So AJ and Kane have a fight. AJ appears to have considered the walking out of the match with Kane. I think it seems to have considered walking out of the match with Kane, thinking that his opponent was not worth the effort of fighting. Ty Dillinger appeared at ringside to confront Finn, and The Undertaker delivered payback against John Cena. That's pretty crazy. And yeah, you can see all the different kind of storylines that are playing out there as well. There is also, is there a draft? I can't remember. I think there is like maybe they removed it, but there was a draft at one point. Jeez, oh. I mean, this menu system is very simple. It's not terrible, but some of the characters look blurry, like they look out of focus. Oh, cool. We have 2 promos to choose from here, so let's look at what the promos are like. Do we get show intros? Because show intros are a big part of universe mode for a lot of people. I think we do get show intros, but this is the Raw intro playing out, and the music's playing as well. Are we going to get promos? Not promo. Are we going to get pyro? We do get promos. That's the whole point of us doing this. But do we get pyro? Oh, we do get pyro. Oh, none of it. Oh, there it is. I was going to say I can hear it, but there's nothing going on there. There's pyro. So, yes, show intros for universe mode. You can see the Raw stage here with the pyro. You get the music and stuff. 2K, you got to bring this back. You really, really got to bring this back. This is so cool. And as a content creator, I have so much use for this. So, like, genuinely, this shit is so cool. They need to bring it back. And to be fair, that's really seamless as well. So you literally go, you choose start show, the music starts playing, it plays the intro, and it goes straight into the match card, and the music doesn't even stop. It's now playing the loop of the main theme, but it's like looped. There's no, like, it's so cool. So we're gonna simulate up into the promo because we want to see what happens with the promo. Oh, I accidentally skipped it. Shit. So yeah, Dean Ambrose called out Rusev. That's fine. But we have another promo here. We have a show closer promo, self-promotion with Roman Reigns. I guess every show has a promo, I guess. So I'm not gonna play it though. I'm not gonna play it. I want to let Roman decide what is best for him. This is his self-promotion. I want him to choose the right thing to do. So yeah, if if you were playing Universe mode back in 2K17, it's probably all you're playing because there's fuck all else in the game. But the promo system was decent. You know, none of it is voiced. So here's Roman coming out. You've got his entrance music playing. His animations are playing on the stage as well. And this animation probably doesn't really fit Roman, but he's coming out. He's the face, and he has something to say. I mean, this is self-promotion as well. So let's see what he has to say here now that he's in the ring during Raw. All right. I know you people want to see some action, so I'll promise I'll make this as brief as I can. Roman, this is the end of the show. But I appreciate that you're trying to kind of speed this thing along. Now, I know us superstars, we're supposed to be happy to be here, thank the authority for the opportunity, shake the right hands, and take everything with a smile and a yes, sir, but that ain't me. Call me ungrateful, but I'm not that guy, and I never will be. And you'll see in the top left as well, what he's saying is filling out this meter. So he'll either, his alignment, face or heel, will change depending on the choices that he makes, what he says. And then the promo performance is the overall, like, how does the promo flow? Does it make sense? Is there a point to what he's saying? And does it come to a good conclusion? So depending on the choices, the meters change. And here he's saying, It's clear as day that some things need to change around here and they won't change by themselves. Hardworking superstars like myself need to stand up and fight against the tyranny of the authority. They can throw whatever they want at me, but I'll keep getting up and I'll keep fighting back because I will not waver until this company changes for the better of everyone. Now, that was an okay choice apparently, so there was a better thing he could have said that would have been an excellent choice. I think it's an excellent choice. See, in this, what he's saying now is a poor choice, so that's going to affect his performance. Pay-per-view matches aren't things to take lightly, which is why I'm confident that when I've earned one, it doesn't matter who you put me up against, I'm not going to sweat it. Now, that is a bad line. If somebody had said that in real WWE, I would not accept it. I would be like, nope, you did not say that out loud. Then again, Roman did actually say suckering succotage in one promo, and we still like him, so. Change isn't easy. In fact, it's harder than the authority's thick skulls. But I realize now that I need to be a different man around here in order to achieve my goals, and that man everyone is about to see is going to take the WWE by storm. Okay, so maybe this is like an alignment change. So maybe he's been a face. Sorry, now he's been a heel, and now he's becoming a face. So maybe that's what's happening. I have no idea. And that's the end of the promo. That was his closing statement there. So he didn't win over the crowd. So the ending animation changes depending on whether you win over the crowd or not. So he's probably frustrated in his own performance there. He didn't really win over the crowd, and the performance meter was low and the face meter was low. So he didn't really make any of the right choices. And overall, his promo, I guess, wasn't very good. But essentially, that is universe mode. There really isn't much to it. That's the whole thing. I mean, obviously there's lots of rivalry animations. So like when you're playing the game, you will see different animations based on people running in or people doing things and, you know, attacking people and heel turns and face turns and whatever else. I mean, the animations for universe mode have never changed. The ones that are in 2K now are still the ones that were in this game. They've never changed, ever. Like, you legit get like 2 or 3 new animations a year, so I don't even know what the new ones would be since this game, but I genuinely think you could probably count them on one hand. So as mentioned, this is WrestleMania 32. 32? I hope that's right. No, it is. 32, which probably one of the most popular matches from that WrestleMania, or at least the one I can think of for sure, was this amazing triple threat match between Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Of course, the three of them just put on this most insane triple threat match, and it was for the newly appointed Women's Championship as well, because at the time you only had the WWE Divas Championship, and because of the stuff that there's not even just these 3 women were doing, there was also Paige and Naomi and Carmella and all these other amazing talents who were doing amazing work, and because of that they finally got rid of the Divas Championship, which was a little bit derogatory, I'd say, and they introduced and returned the Women's Championship at this show, and this is what this match was for. Now, while I was talking there about the Women's Championship, you saw that Becky Lynch took a big move and then rolled out of the ring, and that's the roll-out mechanic that I was talking about earlier. So in multiple person matches, when you get, you know, in this situation where maybe your character, or just as you get towards the end of the match, maybe you need a chance to win, the characters have the opportunity to roll out of the ring, and that will allow you to focus on the other person for a minute. To be fair, it does simulate the flow of a real wrestling match, or a multi-person match at the very least, pretty well, because in real wrestling, when you do have these multi-man matches like a Money in the Bank or a Triple Threat or a Fatal 4-Way, you do typically only have 1 or 2 people fighting at any given, or 2 or 3 people given wrestling at any given time. The others are kind of just all waiting by the side, or they're like, I don't know, just like getting ready for their next spot or whatever. I don't know. They're not, basically not everyone in a multi-person match is wrestling at any given time. So I do appreciate that. And you know, another thing I'm going to point out here is the fact that the camera is like pulled into a more realistic-ish position, so it's kind of like a hard cam, like what you would see on TV, the hard cam, but it's like a moving hard cam. But the angle that the camera is at is more realistic, and you know, I like the camera angles in 2K. I really like the wrap camera. It gets really close to the action and you can still see the stage, and I think for things like a Royal Rumble and stuff, it's really, really cool. But I do wish we had the option to go back to this kind of style where you do have a pulled out camera that maybe isn't too far away. You could push this in a little bit closer, but maybe something that isn't too far away, that is kind of more like a realistic hard cam that you would see in actual WWE in real life. Whereas like the camera system now is a little too close. It kind of gets in the way. The ropes get in the way sometimes, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just ranting about stupid shit. There's not really much to talk about in this game, so I thought I would talk about random shit, I guess. I'm not really sure that the flow of these matches is very good. You know, when we play, it could just be the triple threat match, to be fair, but when we play these games, and because we go through all, I say we as in like me and the channel with you guys, we go through all these old games and we play lots of matches, and especially when the pay-per-view rolls around and we do things like the main event in every WWE game, or we play through every 2K game quite often. And I don't know, like 2K16 and the others are really good to us. 17, I've never noticed any issues with it. I think the last time I played 17 was maybe like the Cody Kevin video, and I think that was like a cage match that ended within seconds. So like, I don't know, maybe I've never really noticed it, but the pacing of this is like crazy slow. Like nothing's happening, and I appreciate that the people are rolling in and out the ring and there's like stuff going on, but like, I don't know, it's just, oh, Charlotte with a spear, and Sasha rolled out of the ring as well. So this is an opportunity for Charlotte to win if she gets the pinfall here, and if she does get the pinfall, then this will go down as a very boring. There, made it. Okay, cool. Thank the Lord, the match continues. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but thank the Lord, the match continues, so that we can at least see maybe another big spot or something. I'm not the biggest fan of the apron screen there, the ring skirt screen having the scrolling text, the scrolling bar. It's a little distracting, so I'm glad that gets changed in later WWE games. In fact, when this arena appears in later games as well, it doesn't even have that. Although saying that, we had, oh, never mind, we had the bank statement, the money statement. We had the bank statement there from Banks on Charlotte, but I don't think that, well, the rope break broke it up immediately and there was no damage done, so I don't think that that's going to be doing any damage or any, that's not going to get her the win. Becky now back in the ring, going to see if Sasha can get the momentum on Becky here. Holy shit, this is boring. Although, maybe it's starting to pick up a little bit. The crowd's on their feet for some reason. I don't know if maybe something, I think it was actually Becky jumped off the top rope and the crowd went on their feet. Oh my god, Sasha, I swear. If like the match, yeah, literally they pop for like a two count. If this match ends with like a head smash into the ring and then they go for the pin, I'm gonna be so mad. It's better end with a finisher. Although knowing my luck, it might just never end. Oh, Charlotte rolling out now. Sasha with Becky with a head smash in the middle of the ring. If you go for a pinfall, I swear. 1, 2, okay, we're good. We're clear for now. No head smashes. Okay, that was like a Meteora. That was like a standing Meteora. We can maybe accept that as a finisher. I'm not really sure, but she didn't get the pinfall off it anyway, so... Oh my god, Becky rolling out the ring, and Banks with the Banks statement once more, but in the ropes, so there's no damage done again. I know Charlotte's got long legs, but I mean, geez, oh, she's going for a figure 4. I was going to say that could win the match, but Becky running in is going to break it up like immediately. In fact, she's breaking it up before the move's even been locked in. Also, she's so close to the ropes that was never going to happen. So Charlotte's on the other side of the ring, recuperating. Becky was down, and Sasha just stood there the whole time. You know, I'm starting to think, this might be a stretch, that the improved AI that they advertised for this game might have been a lie. I don't know, something just tells me, oh my god, Becky is not even going to break up this pin. If she didn't, it could have been the end. Has Becky even hit her finisher in this match? I don't think she has. Oh my god, this could be it. Oh my god, I thought the referee was going to push her into the ropes. I heard a 3. I heard the ring mat hit 3. Okay. Oh, Becky, she could get the tap here. She could get the submission. Never mind, because Sasha broke it up. I don't think this is ever going to end. I mean, that was a pretty cool sequence. There was a submission. Banks is down. Becky rolled out because of the suplex, and we didn't get a pin. I mean, momentum is on normal. Like, there's no reason for the match to be this slow. And they're literally just pinning each other off of every single move now as well. I mean, that could have been it. Who knows? It legitimately gets to a point where I've ran out of things to talk about. I no longer have things to talk about. So This match can end at any moment, and I really hope it does. To be fair, just like the Elimination Chamber match at the very start, I ran out of things to talk about in that match as well, so I had to waffle for a while. Although Charlotte was in a position to go for the figure four, and she's just not hitting it because Becky's freaking... I mean, she has natural selection as well. She could go for a natural selection. Or at least I think she has natural selection. I don't see why she wouldn't. She's been doing it forever. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine, Charlotte. You just taunt. Oh my god, she even missed the running attack. You can't make this shit up. Wow, a clothesline. Really? A clothesline to end the match. It was actually a clothesline to end the match. I mean... Oh, and Sasha just bumped. Sasha just back bumped at the end of the match. Well, congratulations to Becky for the most boring win I have probably ever seen in a video game. I mean, just nothing happened, and then a clothesline won the match. How make that make sense? With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. There really isn't much to talk about, unfortunately, for 2K17. I mean, there is a showcase mode and there is a universe and the creation suite's alright, but it's just lacking features, and the features that are here, like a universe mode, they just aren't really updating, and it kind of makes you wonder what they were doing year on year. Like, the gameplay system has been improved. Like, you can tell the graphics are getting improved and the gameplay is a little bit better, but ultimately there isn't enough here to justify a yearly release. There's nothing being changed. It's literally just, here's a bunch of new creation assets, here is a slightly better universe mode, here's an updated roster, and of course there are amazing graphics, but there really isn't much else beyond that. And even one of the core features, like a showcase mode, which is your single player story mode, is DLC. And the fact that they had that before in the previous games and they've taken it out now and selling it to you as DLC, I haven't played it, so I'm just assuming that it's probably not a full, fledged showcase mode. It probably is cutting corners, and it probably doesn't have, it's probably more video than in-game cutscene. I don't know, maybe I'm just Debbie Downer on this, but I don't really see the point in this game. Maybe it was great at the time. I don't remember enjoying it that much. This is definitely when I started to stop playing the games because there were just no features for me to really enjoy. But anyway, ranting aside, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, please let me know with a thumbs up or thumbs down. It tells me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, if you want to see more, please consider subscribing. I have a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the pipeline. I'm already planning, it sounds crazy to say, I'm even planning into next year, which is insane to think about, but I've got some really good videos coming up, so I hope you do stick around, and if you don't, thanks for coming and watching this video. What am I even saying anymore? This game has completely fried my brain. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. I can't even get my outro right. My brain is mashed. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day. Oh, bye for now.